Hello, Ungoogleable. Welcome to your life. Today is beautiful. Please log in.
I think the memory goes anytime. I recently, when I did something in New York a while ago, and I'd never had this experience before where you actually get a vacation. So I was working for a year, so I took a week off. The first night I got back, I forgot everything. I just stood there going like, holy shit. And it was just a blank. And I did apologize to the audience because you could do anything, you know. And I said, I'm going to need a minute. I walked off stage and I said, what am I doing? Oh, well, then it came back to me slowly but surely. But it was an alarming moment.
Well, there's always that story about Olivier, and I can't remember what he was doing, but he had come on, and he'd done the play, my God, 100 times in the course of his career, and he had come on, he got maybe 6 lines in, had to call for line, and the whole audience gasped. And then he went on, got about 4 more lines in, and had to call again, and then said, I'm sorry, we'll start again. Started again, got through almost the first act, and it started again. And he literally had to call line every 5-6 lines for the rest of the performance, and was crying during the performance. And at the end of it, said, you will all get your money back, but if I didn't finish, I would never have been able to do this again. And he was crying at the end of the performance, and they gave him a standing ovation.
Yeah.
And
that other Olivier story when he's back in the dressing room and he's cowered under his dressing room table, and he's sort of shaking and he looks anxious and paranoid and worried, and the dresser comes, and he's been playing Othello, and the dresser comes and he says, Lord Olivier, that was just the most extraordinary performance I think any of us have ever witnessed. And he's under the table and he's going, I know, but why?
But why, yes. The dresser was John Hurt.
Yeah, right.
And
that would be enough. That kind of experience, Kelsey, on that would be enough to drive me out of the business. I think, because I love it. I love to act, but if it ever got to the point where you couldn't really fulfill your job, I think that's when I would hang it up.
Yeah.
I was on stage
Maybe it's
with,
time for a different job.
Yeah, exactly.
Living.
We're doing Ralph Fiennes played a quite well-regarded Hamlet on Broadway, and I was playing Laertes, and we had this incredible sword fight, which had been choreographed by this fantastic choreographer who'd done the Three Musketeers movie, and it got quicker and quicker every night as we got more and more hungover, I think. I don't know how that works. It's sort of inversely, but we partied pretty hard on that job, I remember. But anyway, so one day it was going quicker and quicker and quicker, and I got hit by the pommel of his sword. We'd made a mistake, and blood just started pouring out of my eye. And Rafe at that point had turned around as Hamlet, sort of a hit, a palpable hit, whatever, and hadn't turned around until he'd see me lying on the floor with blood covering half of my face. You know how much the head bleeds. And he came up to me and he carried on doing his dialogue, and Rafe's got these crazy eyes anyway, and he got closer and closer, and are you okay? And I said, I don't know, you tell me, is my eye still in? Because I couldn't feel, I didn't know. And then we got to the end of the show, and I went off to the hospital. I had like 6 stitches straight across the top of my head.
But you finished?
We finished, and everyone, all you could hear in the audience was,
How did they do that to the blood?
It's late in the play, though. I mean, it was, it comes very late. It's like at 5.
where's the capsule?
how about you, Peter? You were going to say something.
It's just interesting to me that live theater is the most humbling, of our pursuits. There's no safety net like you have in television and film, and I'm sitting here very nervous because I don't know that I can tell my most terrifying stage story, but I'm gonna try. I was doing a summer stock in Woodstock, New York, and unbeknownst to me, we shouldn't have been drinking the well water. And I was on stage in an Anne Bogart production of Once in a Lifetime. Yeah, has some cheese. Has some cheese and banana real fast. But Anne Bogart, very avant-garde director, was doing a Kaufman Hart play, Once in a Lifetime.
Today was a wonderful day. Please come back tomorrow.
Red, blue, green.
Mic check 1 2.
Congratulations. You reject the good enough. You reject words like symbolism and postmodernism. Obsolescence is not part of your vocabulary. Every night, every day, every step of the way. The diktat of fashion. The agenda of the color wheel. Gone. It takes more than a pretty face to catch your attention. I repeat. It takes more than a pretty face to catch your attention. Good. That is very good. We are source decoded. For you. For the most perfect moisturizer. The most advanced cosmetic lineup. Scientifically proven, scientifically tested. For you.
Congratulations. Calibration completed.